Salute, 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 peace, peace. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Salute, salute. You know how to love the ladies. Salute to the real men. Now, there's a dangerous thing going on. It's a dangerous game being played. Trooper, salute. David. Tammy, salute. Angel, salute. Bobby Ramos. Yes, yes, yes. So it's a dangerous game going on, ladies and gentlemen. On one hand, you have the women's movement. Salute to the women. Salute to the ladies. I love the ladies. I support the ladies. I believe we're supposed to protect, our women and children. But, on the other hand, you have some men who don't believe this. You have some men who believe women should have no say, no voice. And you have some women who believe they should have more say, more of a voice. Frankie Blanco, salute. And you have men, corrupt men. You have just men. You have modern women. You have traditional women. Now, a lot of the modern women feel they don't need a man. All men want to do is make them submissive and make them do what, these men want them to do. Now, me personally, I believe in just men protecting the rights of all, especially women, children. But you have some women, even men, who bunch men together, just men, corrupt men, all men. And that's a dangerous game. Frankie Blanco, salute. Just One Sue, salute. You see, things like this discourage men like me. Just men. Men who fight to protect women and children from corrupt men. So when women say they don't need a man, all men are the same, it's very discouraging because men like us, just men, are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice, which is our lives, to give our lives to protect our women and children. Now, that's not an easy thing to do. Because frankly, I love my life. And that's why it's the ultimate sacrifice. And throughout history, there's been just men fighting corrupt men to protect our women and our children. And now, you have traditional women who appreciated that. They understood that. They honored that. And just men, we honor our women. We respect our women. We treat them as if they were our mothers and daughters. Salute, salute, Frankie Blanco, new member, appreciate it. So it's discouraging to hear these things. It's discouraging because corrupt men feel that men are dominant and we just take what we want. And this is true. But just men stand up to that. And we put our lives on the line. Ladybug, salute. Salute to the members. And it seems, as time goes on, and this so-called Western modern women, as time goes on, the way people think women and some men is very discouraging. Because if you really look at it, right, corrupt men feel like we can take anything we want. Only the strong survive. But just men protect those who may not be as strong. And this includes women and children. Now, this is just nature. We have built societies, civilizations, where we have laws in place to protect women and children. Therefore, it makes it a little easier. But we're born into these societies and we feel like this is how it's supposed to be. But what we don't realize is just men fought and died for this to be like this. And it seems sometimes that these corrupt men, their mentality, it may make sense. It may be right, even though it's not. But the way the world is going now, you ask yourself, is it worth putting your life on the line for the women, children who don't appreciate it? See, we believe that men are supposed to stand up for women. Men are supposed to fight for women. Men are supposed to protect women. But these were just men who created these laws and this mentality and enforced it. And what people don't realize, a law means nothing if you can't enforce it. So it's disheartening, man. It's very disheartening. I was taught one thing and the world changed as I was, right before my eyes. Mentalities changed. When I was young, I was taught to respect women, chivalry, to open up doors, pull out seats, give up my seat. And now, it's like I'll be out in society and there's women who fight against it. I'll try to hold the door and they'll be like, you first. I try to give them my seat and they say, I don't want your seat. And I tell them, if you don't walk through this door, man, I would disappoint my mother. Because this is how I was raised. And as a man, I understand that with great power comes great responsibility. Now, there's a lot of talk about, submissive and dominance, and men just want women to be submissive and obey everything they say. But if this was the truth, if the majority of men felt like this, if this was reality, women would have no rights. Because it's men who created these rights and enforced these laws. And then what do we get in return for this? Thrown into the pile with the rest of them? Now, some women feel like we don't honor women. We put, just men put women on a pedestal. We understand that in order for a civilization to survive, we must protect our women and children. Schiffer, salute. Jamie. So, I'm Tammy, salute. I just want to put this out there. Just men, we do honor women. We protect women. So, it's men and it's women out there today who feel like we subjugate women. Women don't have equal rights. And maybe it may be certain things that may feel unequal. But if it's left up to corrupt men, you have no rights. So when I hear a woman or a female say they don't need a man, it's disheartening, because many men have put their life on the line and sacrificed their lives to make this a safe environment for not only their women and their children, but as a whole, a society. Eve James, salute. Oh no, this is not members only. It's well, on this page, members only wrenches over here. Let me make sure everybody. So the next generations of young boys, young men that's growing into manhood. LA Spike, salute. Only facts. Women who understand the value of a man, a just man. We need y'all to fight for us now. We need y'all to speak up for us. Hungry man, salute. Because I tell you this, as a kid, I was not taught this. Women did not speak like this. Now some women did, but this is getting ridiculous. Now we have some men who do it. And when you have young men, it's very disheartening to hear this. How do you expect us or them to grow up and be willing to put their lives on the line to protect the women and the children, when all they're going to get is thrown into the bunch, thrown in with the rest of them, with the corrupt men, with those who don't care? Who's helping them? Because once they get rid of us, they know it's no one to stop them. These men don't care about you. So sometimes, I hear this and it makes me feel some type of way, but I still, all praises to the Most High. I'm still willing to sacrifice my life. But this is how I was conditioned and raised. These new young boys growing up, they're not taught this. Now, equality is, I have nothing against equality, but we as men, we have to give women equality. They can't take it. And it seems that even if we do somehow give them equality, some of them want more. Salute, Eve. I appreciate it. My mother is a very strong woman. my mother's a very, very, but she knows I'm a phone call away. She knows she's a woman. She knows she's not gonna. Because at the end of the day, the government is your new man. And this government don't care about you. So if you're expecting them to protect you, you see, we have the right to defend our land against threats, both foreign and domestic. So if one day this government turns on its people, it will be just men who will put their lives on the line. And they know this. And this is why this rhetoric and propaganda is being pushed through music and television and media to make these modern women believe that they don't need no man, because when they go outside, it's safe. But you got to remember the men who died and sat that way. So if the government ever changes on its people, and I'm not saying it will, but if that would happen, if and at one point, the Ottoman Empire had women They enslave women, sex slaves. Sex trafficking is still happening to this day. Human trafficking, children. Just because we don't see it, because we're in this safe environment that was built, it's still happening around the world. Just because in these Western civilizations, you may feel that you don't need a man to protect you. Outside of this is women and children praying to the Most High that just men will come along and save them and protect them. Now, listen, some of y'all, y'all don't have to think about that. Y'all don't have to care about that. Y'all don't have to worry about that. But I think about things like that. Because I think to myself, what if that was my daughter? What if that was my mother? What if that was my sister? What if that was my aunt? What if that was my girlfriend? And they was alone. I would want someone to go and save them and protect them. Sharonda. Zell, salute. Now, I love the ladies. I love the ladies. But I know as a man, it's certain decisions I'm going to have to make. It's certain a mentality that I might have to have that maybe, the ladies will not agree with and would not like. But in times of war, when it's time for me to get into action and I have to protect you, you're going to have to follow my lead. Because I'm going to try my best to make sure you get out of this alive, even if I don't. So if we ever in a situation and we're under attack by men, and I tell you to run, save yourself, get away, and you stay there and try to fight with me, what's the sense? I know as a man, if I plant my seed in my woman, I can go out and sacrifice my life because I know my line and my legacy and my lineage will live on. That's the end. It's over. It's done. So I'm just, all you mothers out there, I understand this new modern woman stuff, but this civilizations come and they go. And the mentality that we are having, if civilization happens to fall, is a wrap for us. It's over. Palado, salute. Now, as far as, they say this is a man's world. That's not an argument. It's not a debate. It's an actual fact. This is just how it is. And this is why women, the ladies, must ask permission. They must ask for equality. They must march for equality. And just men are the ones who's going to answer the call. Corrupt men don't care about your equality. And they know you can't take it from them. Because in all reality, we have all the weapons. We have all the technology. We have all the governments. We have all the armies. So if men would collectively come together and say, women, you have no rights, who's going to stop us? So don't let them put y'all in no trick bag. Don't let them fool you, women. These are corrupt men who are putting these lies and this mentality into your mind. Because they know if they ever decide to take away your rights, you got to remember slavery was once legal. Women were once property. But it's those men who felt like, you know what? This could be my mother. This could be my daughter. This is not right. It's not just. We're going to put our lives on the line to fight against our own men. Even though, to some men, life to them. I don't have to ask for nothing. I can just take. I'll see a woman I want, and I can just take her. Unless a stronger man is there to take her from me. Simba, salute. The Purge, right? Right? Sharonda, it was once like that. We believe the whole world is like how we live now, but no, it's been many wars, world wars. Many men have sacrificed and lost their life to fight for freedom. And not only for themselves, but for their women and their children. So, you know, it's reality and it's fantasy. And no matter how much you feel and you debate and you know you have a point of view, or you know you have an argument about who is more dominant, men or women, at the end of the day, a man does not even have to end an argument to show dominance. So those who do, that takes strength. Those are real men. Because at the end of the day, a man can just say, shut the F up. End of the argument. Because we do it to each other. Men dominate each other. So just men, we have to dominate corrupt men. We have to dominate. We have to stay dominant. We have to keep this mentality. Maybe it may be toxic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So I got to do what I got to do to protect my women and my children from these men who are going to do whatever they got to do to conquer them. And it's going to become a point. It's going to come a point in time, and maybe not in our lifetime. But you got to remember, before our lifetime, how we got here, if the people If the men did not care, we wouldn't even be in the situation we are right now. We'll still be it'll still be, women will still be enslaved. Black people may still be enslaved. So we must honor our just men. That's we've done it forever. We must give them a sense of pride, a feeling of fearlessness, a sense of duty to go out there and protect these women and children, because we don't have to. It's much easier to conquer, to dominate. That's why when a man and a woman get into an argument and a man loses his discipline and he lays his hands on a woman, the argument is pretty much over. The debate is pretty much over. Now this woman must call the authorities, find a man to protect her, or she may even have to get a weapon and protect herself. But at the end of the day, once just men but start to believe that it's not even worth it to sacrifice their life for a woman who doesn't need them, who feels like all men are the same, who feel like men just want to subjugate them and put them into slavery. That is not reality. Because in reality, if this was true, we would use our force to do so. These laws were created to protect, to serve. But what is a law that can't be enforced? So at the end of the day, force is what makes change. Because I could say, hey, listen, you can't take women, you can't take sex, you can't abuse women. What if men say, so what you want to do about it? We're going to do it anyway. The law means nothing if you can't enforce it. So us just men, sometimes we have to be so savage, because these savages, that's all they understand. And we'll sit back and we'll, debate with y'all and we'll talk to y'all. But deep down inside, in the back of our mind, we know force is what rules the world. Force. Deep down inside, we know we don't have to debate. We don't have to talk. Debating and talking comes from men who feel like, you know what? Let's have this discussion so we can end all the bloodshed. Because on both sides, we willing to go all the way out. We willing to do whatever it takes to win. So sometimes negotiations is best. So you can save people on both sides of the war. But people who dominate don't need to negotiate. Tiara, salute. So soon as y'all feel like, oh, we don't need no men, we good and all that, y'all got to remember this government is ran by men. You're under the protection of them. And when I was growing up, it was less government in our homes. Now they're in our homes. They're telling us how to raise our children. They're taking our children if we discipline them. And then they're saying society is out of control. Because at the end of the day, like I said, force is what makes change. So even with your children, sometimes you have to put the rod. Pause. It may hurt. Ladies, it's the same thing with men, with y'all children. You have to discipline them. Sometimes it may hurt you more than it hurts them. Because they don't understand that it's a dangerous world out there. And some ladies don't understand it's a dangerous world out there. It may look safe because we do our best to make it look like that. And it's still out there. They blend in right in. They love when a woman says they don't need a man. They love to believe. They love when women believe that men just want to subjugate them, and they love when women believe that. They're trying to get rid of us. And I don't know how many of us is left. And like I said, I love my life. And in all reality, I feel like my life is worth more than your lady's life. But that's how I feel. But in nature, in reality, for real, a woman's life is worth more than ours. Because as I said, once we plant our seed, we can pretty much go out to war and don't come back. And our legacy and our lineage will continue. But once we lose that woman and that seed, that's the end. It's over. It's done. Finito. So what are we fighting for? See, just men fight for women and children because that is what builds civilizations. Corrupt men fight for material things, for power, for dominance. Because at the end of the day, they feel like we can just use women to produce more savage men. And the weak men, we can subjugate them along with the women. But me, I don't know. I don't come from those type of genes. I don't know how far my lineage goes back, but I don't know. But it's something that's within me. Maybe it was my upbringing that can't just stand by and see injustice. So all praises to the Most High. I learned not to do this for people. because you'll be disappointed every single time. So I do it for the Most High. Because even now I see nowadays how people talk, and it's not only to talk about, men are the worst, and men, we need to be protected from men. Yes, by other men. But it's also, the civil rights movements, the people who marched for people's rights. They're called weak. They should have went to war. They wouldn't have won no war. Do you understand? These people fought against the greatest power in the world with the most advanced army in the world. If they would have took up arms, they would have been prisoners of war. They would have been slaves. It's the same thing with women. If women take up arms against men, how do you think that's going to end? Let us handle that. Let us just men handle that. Y'all go and keep society going. Y'all keep our lineage alive. Y'all create more just men, because the fight is never going to end. Don't let these degenerates, these savages, don't let them take over. I'm a man. I don't put my hands on women. I try my best to respect women, because I feel like that makes me look weak. But every man does not believe this or think like this. And sometimes I can understand when I hear some of these women and how they talk. I can understand, like, why should I even put my life on it? Like, why is it even worth it? But then I remember all praises to the Most High. It's not about them. It's not about me. It's about the babies. They're our chance. They come with a fresh slate. We're programmed. As long as we keep having these babies until we have a chance to change the minds and the hearts of the world. But how are we going to change it? Are we going to corrupt them? Are we going to keep pumping this rhetoric and foolishness into our children, and they're growing up living in some type of fantasy land where force is not the dominant force on the planet? At the end of the day, you have to enforce laws. Force is what it is, and this is what men do. We use force. A law that is not enforced is meaningless. So we can make these laws and say, respect women. Men shouldn't put their hands on women. Men shouldn't violate women. Why? Why shouldn't they? What's there to stop them? What, they just not supposed to do that? It's just innately inside of us to have to care about women, to have to protect women. No. These are things that was taught to us through tradition. These are laws that was put into place that will be enforced. If we stop enforcing these laws, corrupt men will run around here and violate. But they know if you want to be a savage, you have savage consequences. So just men have to become even more savage than the savages, because that's all they understand. So me, myself, like I said, I love the ladies. When I get in the war mode, women, children, take cover. I can't think about stuff like that. I can't think about how people feel. I can't think about what people think is right and wrong. I got to think about protecting the women and children by any means necessary. Because these savages will do anything to get to y'all and dominate and conquer y'all and do what they will with you. So I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to do anything besides some weird, you know. But they willing to do anything, even the weird stuff. Some of them out there rape children. So I must do what I have to do, no matter what you feel, how you, if you like it or not. I must celebrate just men. I must honor them. We must keep them. We must keep developing these boys into just men. We must make them feel a sense of duty and pride in protecting women and children. Because once you take that away, they're gonna have no initiative. Why? Why should I do that? Why should I put my life on the line for her? I don't know her. Why should I not save myself? Why should I not take this? Why should I not just take it from her? Why should I not? Why? What's to stop it? What is it? The Most High? Even the morals and laws of the Most High are meaningless without force. And it's while men were created to be dominant, to protect women and children. At the end of the day, when you take away all this materialistic garbage, and you take away all this, and you take away everything, when it gets down to it, it's about men protecting women and children. We're not supposed to. It's not about protecting our land, protecting our home, protecting our country. What is a land? What is your land without your family? What is your land? What is that? It's not your land, because one day you're not going to be here. Who would you leave your land to? What is your nation without your women and children? There's no nation. What is a kingdom without your women and children? It's not a kingdom. What are you fighting for? And in these modern societies, we forget what we're really fighting for, what's really important. We're going to be put right back into bondage. And ain't nobody going to stand up and fight. It happened before. It's happened in places. It's still slavery. It's still slavery in places. They trying to tell you, and this is history back in the days in history, it happened to us. But it's still places in this world where women is sex trafficking. That's slavery. Child trafficking, that's slavery. It's not over. There's places in this world where women and children into the Most High that just men come and save them. And like I said, we don't have to care. But if we don't care, who will? So the tearing down of men, and this rhetoric, and it's ridiculous. is ridiculous. A patriotic system, listen, when you strip away all of the rhetoric, men were created by the Most High to protect our women and our children, because it's just naturally like that. But we've been corrupted. Our minds been corrupted by this propaganda and rhetoric, and we are taught that we are supposed to protect our possessions, this materialistic. We're supposed to fight for our countries and our land, and none of this belongs to us. If you fight for your country and your land and you don't leave behind no legacy, what happens to you? You're just a number. Do you know it's animals who went extinct? Do you know it's animals who are extinct? Do you think we one day? Do you think we above being extinct, humanity? In the rate we going, and you know, some women are so angry, and some men are so angry. Some men are so angry at women, and some women are so angry at men in general. We got to stop generalizing these things. Because if you really, 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 really look at it and come back to reality, the majority of men are not corrupt, savage men. And the majority of women don't hate men. But these things are being pushed to the front. These things are being televised. This is rhetoric. This is propaganda. They do it to my people as black people. The majority of us are not criminals. The majority of us are not drug dealers and pimps. It's a minority, and they love to take minorities and put them over the majority. They love to focus on the worst parts and the bad parts, and they don't focus on the people who's doing what they're supposed to do. So now all you're doing is making people be bad. Because what's the reward? Listen, how about all of the kids, especially with the kids, right? We focus on the bad kids who don't go to school, who be cutting up, who's in gangs and this and that. They get all the attention and all that. Don't you see the gangs are growing? They get movies and they all in the songs. That's why these youths are mimicking that. Because you don't get rewarded for doing what you're supposed to do. You get rewarded for being bad and then doing good. And then you get rewarded. But if you always doing good, you don't get rewarded. Like that's what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to focus on those who's doing what they're supposed to do. Honor them. Give them the attention. Give them the accolades. And it'll make more people do that instead of doing this. Celebrate those who go to school and do what they're supposed to do. Those who go to work. Those who take care of their family. Celebrate them. Make movies about them. Make songs about them. Make that popular. We just focus on the negative things. This is a minority of people. Why do we give them so much attention? This ignorant mentality is celebrated. I don't care. I'll do whatever I want to do. F you. Nobody can tell me nothing. That ain't gonna take us nowhere but to destruction. And we celebrate that. We think it's funny. Some people think it's funny. Some people think that's cute. We don't celebrate these things. Nice guys finish last. The good die young. Like, who want to be nice? Who want to be good? Who want to finish last? Who want to die young? Words are very powerful. When I heard the good die young, I said, I don't want to be good. When I heard nice guys finish last, I don't want to be nice. I don't want to finish last. I don't want to die young. Words are very powerful, especially to the youth who have no understanding. They take words literally. So stop pumping this poison into our babies. Because this is how these corrupt men are taking over. This is how they are getting back in power. At one point, they were in power. And a lot of y'all are stuck in that mentality. That time has passed, but it will come back. Because you attract the things that you put out there into this world. As soon as these babies start coming out, not having a sense of duty to protect the women and children, it's over. Society is over. It's done. Women and children will become property once again. Women and children were once property. They were spoils. If an army of men raided a village and they took over, they enslaved the men and the boys, or they killed them. And they did what they wanted with the women. And a once just society became corrupt. Now, we not perfect as men, but the Most High chose us to be dominant and to protect and serve. We supposed to serve the Most High. And if you listen to the music, you see how things have changed. Now, I like to play these two songs. This is A Man's World by James Brown. Does that sound like we don't appreciate our women? King Grego, salute. Does that sound like we don't have our women in mind? We don't cherish, we don't honor our women? Does that song sound like that? It's just reality. It's a man's world, but it will not be nothing without a woman or a girl. That's just reality. Because that is our world. Our women and our children are our world. Not this little round ball pause you call the earth. What's an earth? without our women and our children. We won't be here. No one would be here. What is the earth? It wouldn't be earth. It wouldn't be a world. We create these concepts. Once human beings are gone, there's no such thing as a world, a earth, evil, the devil, all of that is out of here. So now you have Beyonce. Inside of this song, she's not honoring the men, the just men. She's not honoring the men. James Brown, he honored the women. He said this is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Now Beyonce jumps out. Who runs the world? Girls. And this is what we teaching our young ladies. We sending them out into the fire. We sending them out there unprepared. They're going out there feeling like they're going to dominate. They're going to dominate a man. They can speak to a man any way they want to. They can do whatever they want to. They can, but there's consequences behind that. And us just men, we're not telling you, oh, don't do that because we're trying to control you. We're telling you don't do that because once one of these savages don't respect you, we're the ones who are going to have to jump out there and put our lives on the line. So to prevent that from happening, a lady should not even entertain arguing back and forth with no man. Because some men, strong men, they'll entertain it, but weak men, they're going to use force. If they can't win an argument, if they can't outsmart you, if they can't outdebate you, if they can't be right, they're just going to use force. And us men, we understand that. So we can sit down and debate. We can have discussions. We can have arguments. But if that dude ain't trying to hear it and he try to attack, then we're going to have to do you dirty. Because at the end of the day, force is what makes things change. Force. Talking doesn't do anything. Without enforcing what you say, it means nothing. You can talk all day. You can say, hey, don't put your hands on me. Why not? I'll put my hands on you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Why not? It's meaningless. Words are meaningless. But if I say, don't put your hands on me, or I'm going to break your arm. And they be like, oh, yeah, you grab, they put their hand and I'll break their arm. That's called enforcing the law. So the next person who's watching that will say, maybe I'm not going to put my hands on them because I don't want my arm broke. But then you have men who say, listen, I'm still going to do it because if you try to break my arm, I'm going to break your arm. And then it becomes who's more dominant. The talking is over. So ladies, if you see two men fighting, one is a just man, one is a corrupt man, who are you winning? Who are you wanting to win that fight? Because whoever wins that fight is the one who's going to determine what happens to you next. Wild Country, salute. So if that just man wins that fight, you good. But if that corrupt man wins that fight and leaves that just man on that ground, lifeless, he's going to have his way with you. So stop putting us all in the same category, please. And y'all, you women, especially y'all who have sons and fathers and brothers who stand up for you, stand up for them. Don't let these women and men tear us down and make us feel like it's not even worth it to put our lives on the line to protect our women and our children. Sharonda, salute. Appreciate the super sticker. Make them feel good, ladies. Comfort them. Let them know what they doing is right. Vinny, salute. Because this is very disheartening to me. Sometimes I sit back and it's just the things that some people say and the way that some people think. It's just, I feel like I'm the idiot. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. If I put my life, I go out and give away my life to protect a woman. And they're talking about all men of this and all men of that. And men are trying to do this. It's disheartening. And you got some men out there who do the same. Oh, these men are subjugating women and blah. Like listen. We in this little bubble, in this fantasy bubble, where everything is all nice and Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. But if you lived in these third world countries, and you'll understand why these laws and it was put into place, why these men were taught through tradition and heritage that it's our duty to protect our women and children. You'll understand that. Because some of these places don't have an army, they don't have a police force. All they have is them just men who come together in times of war and battle to defend their families. Make back, salute. So like I said, holla, love the ladies. And I try my best to be a real man and carry it a certain type of way. And I know sometimes I might say things that y'all don't like. But believe me, y'all say things I might not like. But this is just how the world is. But I'm still going to stand up for you, and I'm still going to fight for you, and I'm still going to put my life on the line, even though other men may feel like it's not worth it. Chivalry is dead. Let them fight for themselves. They want to be equal. And some of y'all might feel like that too, but I'm not listening to y'all. I don't care what y'all say. I'm going to be a warrior. I'm going to do what I have to do. If you like it or not, I don't care how you feel. I'm going to protect women and children. If you like it or not, whoever don't like it, try to stop me. I don't care. I have to be ignorant sometimes. Sometimes you got to make decisions that's for the best for the whole, the collective, not the few. What's best for the many. And I've been in many positions of power, and people didn't like what I had to do. They didn't. But listen, you don't understand. This is why you're safe. This is why people are not coming to attack you. This is why people respect you. Because they know A brother like me, a brother like me is going to enforce those laws. If I like it or not, if you like it or not, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about them babies. And I can't protect the babies if I don't protect the women. Because when I go out to war to put my life on the line, we need our women there to raise those babies, those young boys, and honor us. Because one day they're going to become men and they're going to have to step into that position and do what they got to do. So stop teaching these young boys men ain't ish, all men are dogs, all men just want to do this and this and that. Stop teaching these young boys that. Teach them about the good men, the good men in your life. I know you women, I know some of y'all may not have any good men in your life. I don't know. But I know the majority of y'all do. And as a young boy, that's what I thrive to be. Those men. Because back in the days, the way y'all used to look at those men and honor those men, I wanted to be looked at and honored that way. And maybe, you know, a lot of times y'all were mad at them and y'all didn't like them, you know, but y'all respected what they was doing and y'all understood. In order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. Even my own mother, when I became a man, even my own mother, I had to tell her, I'm a man now. This is for your best interest. This is what I'm gonna do. You might not like it. You my mother. I'm your son. You feel like you should be able to tell me this to do this and to do that. But you don't know no better, moms. I love you. You raised me as much as you can. But now you have to let me take the lead. Because now you protected me and you got me to manhood. And now it's my turn to protect you. You gave your life for me, and now it's my turn to give my life for you. Some of y'all, I love you. I love, but you got to let us be men. You got to let us make mistakes. You got to let us learn. It's only going to make us stronger. But don't turn your back on us. That unconditional love, that comforting, that nurturing, we need that because that's what's going to determine us from being corrupt men or just men, real men or savages. Because we remember that love, that mother love, that nurturing of a woman. There ain't nothing like it. And we ready to die and protect it. But if we ain't getting that, if we getting a bunch of negativity and what are we fighting for? Some men hate their mother. And it makes them hate women. Some women hate their father, and it makes them hate men. But if these men's mothers was nurturers and supportive and with unconditional love, they would not hate their mother. And if these fathers were just men and protectors, these women would not hate their father. It all starts in the home. So that, again, I appeal to y'all women out there that understand the sacrifices it takes for us men to keep y'all safe. And remember, these men understand the value of a woman. Because if they did not, why would they put their life on the line to protect you? So protect, so you know, honor those men. Those toxic, savage men. Stop putting them up on a pedestal. Stop promoting them. Stop keep talking about these type of men. These are the men y'all date. These are the men y'all talk about. These are the men, the ones who broke your heart, the cheating, lying men. Honor the men, the real men. And these young boys will see that, like I did when I was a young man. And I said, you know what? That's what I want. I don't want a woman to look at me with fear. I don't want a woman to fear me. But anyway, I don't want to go too much with this. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. Appreciate to the mods. Appreciate to the chat gang, live gang, replay gang. All praises to the Most High. Holla at y'all boy.